Hosted by Wanda Suero, also known as Salty Coffee, Dazzle Daniels, also known as Dazzle D, and myself, Elruby Thomas, known as Miss Ruby, Crypto Queen of Harlem, y'all. Tune in weekly as we strive to educate and elevate our community's financial literacy. We bring you professional and expert speakers, share insights from our personal wealth journeys, and introduce workshops and resources to empower you. Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com at P2G Networks TV for an hour of Black Girl Power, where we're shaping the future of finance in Web3. Peace and see you there. Ah, I just love it. Great day, everybody. How y'all doing? Grand Rising, good evening, whatever it is you were doing. This is your girl, Ruby Thomas, and go ahead, baby girl.
Salt coffee all the way from the
VX, that's what's up.
BX,
That's what's up.
baby.
That's right. And we're doing our
Happy
thing
Friday.
tonight. Yes, happy Friday, baby. Tonight is just the two of us. Our Dazzle D is going out there to flip those funds. I'm loving it, doing a thing, because this is the season. That's what we do. And I'm loving it because she started in May. May is a special month. And she was like, yo, straight up, that's my big money time. I told you we be out here. We're not playing. When is we be about that money? And you with Black girls in Web3, so you know we about that cash. We're not just about that cash, we're about our community too. And today we're going to talk about May. We got to talk about May. Why? Because there's a lot of things going on in May. Good gosh.
April showers brings May
flowers. That's what I'm talking about. And we are flowered with all kinds of stuff right now. Today we're going to go down the list. So what's happening starting in the beginning of May? We have a few things happening on calendar. I kind of like that we get to keep the calendar, things like that. Yeah. So first off, I want y'all to know that May Day is the 1st of May. It was the 1st of May. And I'm sorry if y'all didn't realize what it was, because I didn't know it was May Day. I didn't know what the heck. I heard about it with my grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And a lot of movies too. Mayday.
Mayday, yeah. The 1950s movies. Yeah. I wasn't around for at least 20 more years. I'm just letting y'all know.
And also the millennials wouldn't know about it either.
Yeah. So what does the month of May bring us? It's a global recognition for Labor Day. And I wanted to talk
Labor
to, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When we talk about labor, what do we mean? And okay, I know we're also coming into Mother's Day, but that we're not there yet.
Labor.
Okay, we're not there.
Speaking of labor,
talking about hard labor, workers working, having come up from literally coming into a space that we had illegal child labor going on to our children. You know what I'm saying?
There were no labor laws.
Everybody was making money in the household. Everybody who could walk and talk was making money in the household. And then we had a lot of reform around that. Education.
Forced to do this.
To maintain living and lifestyle, you got to do what you got to do. Everybody, if you want to eat, you had to be of use. And that I wish I can't say the illegal part. I didn't want the legal parts, the illegal parts to come back. But the reasons for having everyone come together as a family and contribute their labor into the world helped even our society grow. I mean, we were moving light speeds at that time when more people were working together, more households. We went from agrarian to our mechanized industrial revolution. And it's crazy because, baby, let me tell you something. We moving out. We out of industrial.
Been.
You know what I'm saying? Machines have become technologically designed, and now they're starting to design themselves. We're in the time and the age of information, which basically just puts that to work.
Do you think, like, if you really think about the whole, how the evolution of labor became about and how it's going back to the traditional, received papers that I always look at cryptocurrency like in that manner. Like,
Really?
yeah, because we went from like what
Uh-huh.
uh, building real fires, going out to get
Yep.
food with the
Mhm.
animals and the
Mhm.
environment to
Right.
this industrial revolution thing where
Yes.
supposedly the mom stays home or not. Um,
Mhm.
you had to get married or not. you know, some
Uh,
people didn't have that choice, but
yeah.
the overall American picture, right?
Yep. Yep.
And you brought people from removed people from
People, there
their
you
natural environment
environment to yep.
to evolve this industrial
This is
revolution
and exactly
into
into
Fordism,
go
which
ahead.
is the white picket fence house, the white stays home taking care of
Home the
everything. And
yeah.
now she's home depressed because you're out all
Out
day
there
making
all
money,
day, and she's taking care of your family,
and the
protect
government is still not providing like the real resources that people need because we're
that's
already
right.
being indoctrinated into this whole thing, this
Exactly.
real thing of going to school, going to
School
work.
and work.
Now they're
Yep.
school. Now school starts.
Now
No,
school.
children can't be working because they've been getting sick. They're not living
You see,
longer.
oh gosh,
Who's
children,
gonna do this work?
we need the kids to survive.
Who's gonna do the work?
And if you okay, always tell the first rule, follow the money. All the rules change. You gotta follow the money. Now, see, we jump ahead. Now we are jumping ahead to a conversation we want to have later. So we'll come back to that because the other things that are happening in May are very exciting. So I'm gonna have to jump around a little because I'm just gonna throw some things at you real
But you
quick.
can see how it connects, though,
I'm
right?
about to do that. Girl, we just did it. It all comes back around. When they
The
start
web,
talking about things building up, they're always talking about funding. Never get it twisted. Anytime there's a problem, they talking about money. If you got a politician, you hearing about money. If you think that politician is talking about they feel good, we need this because the people, you're wrong. They telling you to get it done for you, we're gonna go get some money. Simple as that. You need us to get your money. That's a politician's conversation every time. And if you think, well, we're gonna get compute, nah, we ain't gonna get into that yet. I ain't gonna jump into that. I'm
no,
not
don't
letting
get
that feed in.
there because I'm
Okay.
still mad.
Oh,
But go
oh,
ahead.
don't be mad. Don't be mad. I gotta tell you. So now, if we go on, the next conversation that we're having has to be the most one, in my opinion, one of the most important on the planet. The next time we have an amazing celebration, it is not even Mother's Day. It's Nurses Week. Why is Nurses Week so important? I spent the week in the hospital with my uncle who literally got there suddenly while I was on vacation. And he did not tell us, but I was grateful that going to a hospital, and I love me some doctors, don't get me wrong, I have some of the most amazing doctors, but I know that and I want you all to share, I want to share it. Doctors couldn't be half of who they are without at least one nurse, let alone the numbers of nurses it takes to take care of an entire ward of people with maybe 16 rooms,
Right,
two to a bed, two to a room. You know what I'm saying? Two beds to a room.
right,
And they have aides. Hospitals have levels of people who share the caregiving process. And this is Nurses Week. I spent a wonderful time in Einstein Hospital in the Bronx saying happily and gratefully, Happy Nurses Week to every nurse that I met. I have nurses in my family, so that you know as well. Some of them have been military nurses. And without them, and many times we find that the nurses know and do more than the doctors. The
mhm,
nurses change out less than the doctors do in hospitals. Did you know that? They're the
mhm.
ones with the longer career. And the doctors will let you know that some of them are down. They call it a downgrade, but it's a side grade. Some of them doctors are going back to school for nursing because they realized nurses have a better pension. There is no doctors union.
Right,
Okay? They're protected and they're actually practicing medicine, believe it or not.
right.
The
And I
person
have
that
a
ministers that is you, and the one that checks and makes sure that the
exactly.
doctor's doing right is your nurse. Ain't it great?
I have been going to the same clinic for 34 years now, and there's
Really?
still this one nurse who's still there. I I I
Oh, look at
I've
you.
seen physicians go in and out. I've fired physicians myself,
She said she
and
fired him,
she's
y'all.
still there, and she saw me with my 2 daughters.
Mhm.
She saw, we still communicate and talk, and she's like, "You're looking beautiful than ever." I'm like, "You too."
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
nurses really do last longer, and, thanks to their union leaders,
Yep.
when they are teaching them about, their rights,
All
their,
right.
how to negotiate their contract, like,
Exactly.
because COVID was horrible
Yeah.
for nurses.
Yeah.
So, luckily, they had good language on there to
Good.
protect them more so than the doctors, really,
Ex
if you think about it.
exactly. Exactly. See that we heard about doctors being fired, people who were very active, and doctors that went against the grain were talked
Mhm.
down, but these were a lot of doctors we found that were doing the most good.
Right.
So I need us to get, and then you ain't hear about no nurses though. You weren't gonna hear about no nurses because you didn't see. We didn't need to see a mass exodus of nurses at one time,
Right.
especially during COVID,
But
because we can't
that's why I
fire.
love New York, because in the New York nurses, whenever there's a little thing that hospitals are doing, they're out there
They out there together, fighting the
together.
good fight, making sure it gets straight,
Exactly.
because they understand these are the people who see the people, who take care of their needs, those calls in the middle of the day, all day long, the little things that need to be picked up and managed throughout the day. That's your nurse.
Right.
So I want everybody here, if you're hearing this, if you're hearing about this, Nurses Week doesn't end till Sunday. So please shout out a nurse in your life, in your hospital. If you know one from a hospital, reach out. Let a sister, a brother know. And yes, there are men nurses too. So they deserve the love.
They do.
Especially because them brothers be the ones I was watching them call the one when we had like problems lifting folks up. They was calling on them male nurses. And one of the dudes was like, yo, I got you. Next thing you know, he's like, wait a minute, I can't do this either. It was like, don't let nobody know. Don't let nobody know. I was like, we got you. We understand. Don't
Yeah.
worry. That's what I'm saying. They have each other's back. And that's what you want from the team that's taking care of you. So shout out and salute to Nurses Week all over the world. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's how they take care of us worldwide. All right. Got them nurses now. Now, Nurses Week, during the end of Nurses Week comes Mother's Day. That's another worldwide. You better stand up, clap your hands, do whatever you got to do, light a match kind of situation. Okay? Had a talk on stereo. You heard that, right, Miss Wanda?
I did. I did this morning.
Woo! It was hot to death.
It was.
Why? Why was it hot, Miss Wanda?
I think it was really caliente. Let me
Yes.
do it in the real Spanish. That was like the very American version. It
Go
was very
ahead.
caliente. And the
Ah.
reason, like people
Uh-huh.
who I enjoyed it this morning more so because the men
Mhm.
had more to
Yes.
say. Their
Yes.
input,
Come
and I thought it
on.
was interesting. And I was like, this is the first time that I hear the men talking
Exactly.
about labor.
That's girl. That's what I was talking about. I said, I don't know if anybody noticed, but we had a male centric conversation about
We sure did.
mothers,
Yeah.
about being a mother. I
Oh,
was like, it's what you really. I was like, did we like die and go to heaven? This was men that they tapped in.
they did.
They
Some
tapped
of them
in.
some of them said some things that we were like, "Wait,
A
what?
little
How do you?"
concerning.
Yeah.
I didn't know was possible. Cause the brother look, y'all want to know? We're on Breakfast with the Thomases Wednesday morning. We got one. Check out Breakfast with the
Live.
Thomases Friday morning. Because baby, if you don't tap in on these shows, you don't understand. We got some folks bringing in their info, sharing what's out here, what's available, and it blew my mind. Did he say he got to go through he got 2 hours to experience the labor process
Yeah.
at a Planned
Planned Parenthood.
Parenthood? Come on.
I loved
Planned
it.
Parenthood out here
And
helping
and I
men
love it.
identify.
I love it how Michelle B asked him, how was it you or Michelle B asked him,
What
"Well,
happened?
how long was this again?"
I
2
asked
hours.
I was like exactly. I asked him and he said, "Well, not the whole pregnancy," because he was very
Yeah,
clear.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
"How long did this go
Okay.
on?" And when this brother talked about the in-depth dilation
Dilation.
he signed away to do, actually, he lost a bet. He had to sign away
Yeah.
and agreed and stuck. Ooh, Lord. I'm like, whoa, that's deep. I said, boy, you don't lose no more bets. You hear me? You don't
You
bet
know,
no more.
that should be a mandation in the school
It actually
for
it
teenagers.
can't be. It's well, it can't be. It can't be mandated because it is physically invasive, and it cannot be like they can't force us to go through anything. They can't force us to do certain things in society to our
Listen,
bodies, even if
we
it's
can
for.
always open up our own schools.
No, we ain't going there because we'll get it shut the hell down. She gonna go get me shut down. I got other things to teach. Anyway,
I thought it was really good and
I
interesting
really,
the
yeah,
way he said, "I have much more appreciation of women
yep,
who go through this."
yeah. And we don't realize sometimes that there are men. I was listening to the input, and it wasn't just this outward appreciation of the things you do. It's I took the time to get to know what you went through to have me in this world, and even though that was just possibly a tenth, a portion, a mite of what you went through, I must say thank you because anything more would have broke me. Anything more would have broke me. But mothers have a different kind of resilience. And so I want you guys to get a chance to see it. Hop on stereo, look for Breakfast with the Thomases, and you want to check out Miss Ruby in there. I'm MZ Ms. Ruby. Okay. MZ Ruby. That's just how it go. And we got Salty Coffee in the house because she was there. So she'll have it too.
Avatar. Her avatar is a beautiful looking woman with 2 ponytails, all gray,
I
with a
love it.
little Aquarius crown,
I know. I love it.
her
I
nice
just be on here
little
having a ball.
off the shoulder top. I mean, she hooks it up. She's
I'm gonna have to change it because people have let me know it's getting a little old. She getting a little old. But honey, I'm trying to tell you, had a great show. Mother's Day was wonderful. We celebrate the mama by having an homage to mamas. Homage to mamas is basically a homage to mothers, and we want you if since people didn't quite pick up the offer for our contest. So early in the week we offered a contest to those who would shout out their mom and have us play that shout out on the show and be an entry. Their shout out become an entry to a contest. And that contest would have judged simply out of a lottery. It wouldn't have been anything personal.
right.
Now, one person would have gotten up to $500 worth of prizes and $100 worth of crypto from them and their mother or them and their chosen mom. It is voluntary and open that you celebrate the women in your life. However you choose. You don't have to be on our show. But I can say if one person that saw it, and by the way, we know that 400 people saw this just on Facebook. I'm not sure yet on how many on YouTube, but yeah, if one person would have did it, they would have won everything instantly. So this is just to say from Miss Ruby, your coach, your crypto and financial literacy trainer, you got to be in it. You got to be active to win in this game of life. You got to be playing the game in order to have a chance at winning. So get in there, put it out there, step up, and don't you waste your time
Look at
wondering.
the poetry contest.
Yes, it's going to be great. Father's Day.
$200.
Father's Day.
Yes.
Oh wait, the 200 for the poetry. Whoo! Somebody won cash
And more money.
and crypto. Yes, but they also have a crypto package, and that's even better. So you want to try it out? You could have did a roses is red, violets is blue, but I couldn't because I work here. I would have did
Roses
a
are
quick poll.
red, violets are blue. I love my mom, and so should you.
That's what I'm talking about. And you know she bad too. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
We got we'll get there. I mean, it
So,
was a kind of short notice, but we'll
so what are we gonna do? That means we're gonna get ready and start it early for Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Yeah, yeah. So be ready because that Father's Day contest is coming up. Y'all better get ready. Now that's the one I'm looking forward to. Miss Wanda, I'm so looking forward to the Father's Day one because you know what? We heard a lot about dads during our breakfast with the Thomases. Let's get it popping. Oh, excuse me, honey.
You
I'm
know how
sorry.
to get the dads up in there. I don't know how you do it, but you do.
I don't know, but I'm
I
gonna get them.
usually get the moms. I usually get the moms, but you know how
Well,
to
you
get the
know, we
dads.
got Mr. Thomas. We got the dad of every
That's
dad.
true. Yeah,
Mm,
that's true.
thank you. You know, I have to have my water by close by.
I like that bottle.
If I, y- that's why, because it's so cute. I make myself drink.
Oh,
I
that's
wasn't
my
drinking water till
glasses.
I got this. Woo. Sometimes you got to trick yourself into doing what's good. And because it's so cute and it's made of glass, I've been drinking more water.
That's good though.
Trick yourself if you got to, but live longer.
Oh my god.
Okay, I know, right? Look, moving on, we're going to get going because the rest of this month we got fun, fun, fun. We are also in the month of mental health awareness. I did not know
Ooh,
this till really till today when we were doing our research on what we wanted to bring to this space outside of our current subjects. Baby, I didn't know it's mental health awareness. We have a mental wellness
dang.
program we run on Monday. We do every
Um,
Monday.
I mean, every week, yeah.
So you know we gonna be rocking this. This week is gonna be a rock out. That's what I'm talking about. And you better focus on your mental wellness. Everyone should be really focusing on being mentally sound, mentally well, and emotionally connected to wellness. Because we are so emotionally connected to chaos. It's ridiculous. It's quick to jump on some chaos in a heartbeat. Anybody see something go wrong, you bump your toe, and all of a sudden the whole day went left. It's like, oh, for God's sake,
That was
what?
funny.
It's so funny because I've heard people do that. What, Wanda? You bump your foot, you're like, oh my God, what can happen next? And then you bump your head because you asked what can come next, and you didn't realize you jumped in on the emotional roller coaster of chaos as opposed to the emotional sequence of calm. It's like,
Right.
okay, wow, okay. For me, when that happens, if I bump my foot, I'd be like, what am I supposed to
No,
be
it's when
doing?
you bump that funny
That
bone part. Like, oh,
now I have bumped my funny bone, and I have I bumped my funny bone and said, "Who the heck is trying to get to me?" Out loud. I realized there is some message because you don't just the funny bone is very particular. And it's
they
never
don't
in the
call it
same
funny bone for
spot.
nothing either.
It's never in the same spot. That's the weird thing about the funny bone. You gotta click and hit a specific spot to catch a funny bone. I've hit this on, and it's funny. I tried to make it happen again, and it didn't. I was like, "But what bone was that?" Especially on my arm, and then on my knee. I got a funny bone in my knee, y'all. I'm like, wait,
The
how
elbow
does
part. That part. Oh
exactly?
man. Yeah.
And it's weird because you don't know whether to cry or to laugh.
You
You
do
know,
both.
you kind of do both.
You cry laughing.
Oh my God. Do you understand the wellness part? Where you
Yeah.
got to be in control of your wellness. We've got to recognize that chaos is the place that we live. Wellness is the place we strive to be in.
Mhm.
Chaos happens. It's
I'll
actually
give you
potential. Go ahead.
I'll give you a perfect example of
Uh-huh.
like where I work at right now, right? Or
Mm.
where I have been working for the past 3 decades.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I've been um, a professional at right now is to when people call with
Hmm.
like a high like up here, I've had to learn how to bring it,
Mm.
somewhere here. So
Right.
because of the high intensity right now at the university,
Right.
I'm getting all those phone calls and that energy goes into me, and it affects me, because
Right.
my experiences working there, what I've seen,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, watching students get arrested in front of you after you've been there for 3
Mm.
decades, it's an
Yeah.
energy that brings. So, I encourage everyone that no matter
Right.
where industry you're in, make sure that you know how to meditate, make sure that
Mm.
you exercise, make sure that you're eating healthy food that's going to bring out something in you to understand that this is the reality,
Right.
and you how you behave and react towards it is what really that's gonna, like, bring you to a level of understanding.
Right.
So we all need to know that our mental health is far
Mhm.
more important, because guess what? When you get hurt at work, right?
Mhm.
And it had nothing to do with you physically getting hurt. They don't have that on the form.
Mm.
When you're filling out the form, they have the little
It's
body,
right.
and you point and pinpoint where you got hurt, but there's
Yeah.
nothing here on your
And nothing
brain and nothing
and nothing
here.
here.
So
Yep.
when are you gonna change that part on that form?
Mm.
Because that is the issue
That's
today
real.
in the
Exactly.
labor movement, or whatever's happening right now with work.
Exactly. And I'm glad you mentioned that because what happens is that I deal with stress all the time. I'm an entrepreneur and have been for a long time. I've worked other jobs where I also let you know my last job I was glad I left because it was like weird. I actually had a job dealing with people's problems. 8 hours of people yelling at me about problems that I was trying to help them with, but they're still yelling.
Mhm,
That's my job to help you, but you're still yelling at me.
mhm.
Had to figure out a couple of things. They weren't yelling at me. That was the first thing.
Right.
When people around you and things are happening around you, it's not happening to you. It's happening around you.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen to me until I connect in as either a victim or the focus. Now, the other thing, I started learning that everything in and around me, I had to use this. You got to say it. It's a practice, and this is just mine. So if I hadn't really been great about meditating, you know what I'm saying? My meditation sounds more like a conversation with
Listening to
God.
music or comedy too.
Yeah.
Believe it
Oh,
or not,
please, that's early
when you
morning.
use it, yeah.
Comedy, music, yeah. Comedy, music. I do have listening times where I listen. So what happens is that it helps to shift my mind back to the fact that two things we forget, and I think this happens. This is how the chaos takes place. We internalize this taking for being our forever. We forget that everything. So those students that got arrested yesterday may not have been arrested still today.
Correct.
You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
But
We're
that
there
was
for a
your
couple of
that
hours.
was your experience in it. And because you had that experience, you kind of have to figure out where it is to be and how long it's going to be there. Because some of us travel with these experiences forever
Mhm,
because
mhm.
we stay there forever and they're not happening anymore.
Right.
So for me, I have to remind myself this is temporary. Everything changes. What was your statement for this year?
Listen, no, since COVID,
Yes.
not this year, but
Go
this
ahead.
year I'm implementing and enforcing it, and I'm downright, like, on it. Everything is subject to change,
Thank you.
and we should not, now I'm adding, right?
Go ahead.
We should not be reactive,
That's right.
we should be proactive,
Come on.
because you just really never know. When I hear students saying, "Oh, I'm checking out, and what do I do?" And listen, you better have plan 1,
One. That's right.
plan 2, and always 3, because everything is subject to change. You
Thank
never
you.
know what's gonna happen. Your flight may be canceled. What are you gonna do? Where you gonna stay? Do you got a hotel room? Your car may break down. What are you gonna do?
Come on now.
Your parents may get delayed. Then what? Why? And also, that's the good thing about us, women, mothers.
Yep.
We do it.
Thank you.
We never wait for anybody else. And ironically, we learned that.
That's right.
There's no book that says how to become the best mother in the
Well, there.
world.
Oh God, where is it? Who's the author? I need to get it. I will pay $1,000. Heck, I could have wrote that book twice and still been wrong. There
Everybody.
is no manual for raising another person to be the individual they're going to be and become the individual you are.
Right.
That's mother. That's mother and daughter.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I loved it. Like I said, this we just had a whole lot of stuff that was looping into each other, in and out. Oh my goodness,
Everything.
interweaving.
And that's the good thing about the web
Yes. Yes.
3.0
Come
process
on.
because everything is connected.
Exactly. They're now pulling it all together for us. And
Everything.
now we are becoming the web. That is Web 3 in actual activity.
Mhm.
It's all of us. That's one of the reasons why Black Girls in Web 3 was so essential. So that we could show you that you could have everything that was available in one place. That's what P2G is for. Let's
Amazing.
do it. All right. So we got the 1st of May, which is May Day. For those who did not know, look it up and see what that's about because that's a Labor Day day.
Right.
That's a celebration of worldwide Labor Day. And we pretty much all, everybody on the planet works to do something. Whether they work for somebody else or themselves, everybody got to work. I don't think you're going to go off and live your life and vacation the rest of it and do absolutely nothing and make money. That's not how that works without looking at it, or doing nothing. Then we have Homage to Mamas, which is our love and appreciation to our moms, the people who loved us from the beginning. And I hate to say it, but I still want to play the video. Can I play the video?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up because this was fun. I saw this. Believe it or not, I sent this reel to my daughter, and it was really fun. And it kind of made me a little sad. Does that? It made me sad but happy because I remember this. I know this is my life now. And Miss Wanda, I'm gonna be really honest.
I thought it was you.
It wasn't, but it was. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
was like,
hate to
"Ooh,
say
when
it.
did you do this?"
When
And
did
then
they
tell
do this?
me,
It was somebody put this up, posted this up, and I sent it out to as many people as I could find because it was so fun. It really was. Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness.
I shared it with my oldest. I said, "This is what I want to do with you." He said,
Yeah.
"Tell me the
In
date."
many ways,
I'm there.
we do this. And
Yeah.
let me get over here because I found it. I found where it was. She put it in her little videos for me. Thank you. I just realized. You ever realize all the stuff you share with your children?
Yeah. I
It's
share a
like
lot
I
of
never
dog
noticed
stuff.
that. So
I
let's
always
go.
share like dog stuff.
So this is one of my favorite shots. I'm gonna put the sound on and I'm gonna let it run.
You want to drop 15, 20 pounds?
Nope.
Somewhere between then and now, it went from Mom, stop telling me what to do, to Mom, please tell me what to do. Somewhere between then and now, it went from Mom, you don't understand, to Mom, I don't understand. Somewhere between then and now, it went from Mom, leave me alone, to Mom, never leave my side. Somewhere between then and now, I realized the other half of my heart was always the person who created it in the first place.
I absolutely love that.
It
So
wasn't until
snappy.
she was pouring the wine that I was like, "Oh, that is not her."
No.
I thought it was you the whole
My
time.
baby does. I drink certain wines occasionally, but it's more like once a year.
You can do a
I
fruit cup.
celebrate once a year. Well, it's only because of the effect that alcohol has on my body. So unfortunately, I am the sober. I'm the unwilling sober person to take everybody, make
It's
sure everybody
so
gets home.
fun.
But
We're
I'm not kidding. I'm exhaustingly fun. My people ask me, "How the heck are you still up?"
because you don't
Always,
drink.
always. I didn't do anything to make me tired.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
You don't drink wine, then
So,
you have a way
um,
of whining.
Mom, I have to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Don't you love being a mom?
I love it since day one. My oldest is 31. My youngest
Oh,
was born 4 years later. He's
eh.
27. Yeah, and
She's
I
so
love
she's
them.
27 this year. Mine just turned 27. My oldest is
Yeah.
27 and my youngest is 25.
My daughters are gonna be
Yeah.
28 and 32 this year, by
Oh
the
my
end of this year.
God. Oh wow.
So, I remember at 5 years old, and I'll keep repeating this because I really don't care what people think. But I remember at 5 years old saying, "I wanna have my kids young. I wanna have them young so that I can enjoy my
Mm-hmm.
their youth with me," like, I could
Oh.
do things with them, travel, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I want them to be young enough to have children so that we can be
See your
together.
grandson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, my
Oh
daughters are
wow.
beautiful. They're a blessing. You know how they say, "Oh, you're so lucky." No,
No,
They're lucky they have me.
exactly. They got you
They
because
got
you's
me.
a bad mamma jamma. I
Yeah,
kid you
no,
not.
but I really was
Yeah.
I think I was really lucky with them.
I'm gonna be honest. I have to say, having your kids young is actually a great blessing. I had my daughters in the first couple of years. Al and I were together since I was 19. Our first
Mhm.
daughter came when I was about 22,
Yeah, it's
and it was just an amazing experience. I I'm sorry, y'all said she said 5. That's why I'm probably choking. Cause at least I had a cabbage patch at age 13 that made me want to have a kid. But dang, she said 5. I wasn't thinking about nobody baby at no 5 years old.
yeah,
But
I like it.
it's weird. I used to actually have a Cabbage Patch Kid. When
Yeah.
I turned 13, my family gave, we were younger and got a little Cabbage Patch Kid for Christmas. And I thought it was the best little thing I'd ever seen.
Mhm.
We call, I called him Eric. Don't ask me where Eric went after the first year. He disappeared. If he was a real kid, I'd be in trouble.
Somebody kidnapped your baby.
Somebody kidnapped my Cabbage Patch. Okay?
But you know what? My mom used to be, a daycare, uh,
She used to be a
she's
daycare
yeah.
provider.
So,
Oh,
when I
you
would
had a
come home
lot
from
of kids.
school, I had
Yeah.
to, do like, I that was me in the money making days. So,
Oh.
we had little girls that their mom, worked, so they didn't have
Yep,
time to do their hair.
yep,
I would
yep.
do their hair. There was one lady who worked for Anne Klein, so I used
Mm.
to get the Anne Klein handbags from back in the '80s.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
You still got that?
but I didn't use the old lady Anne Klein business bags, so I would sell them.
Ah, oh, no,
But
she
remember
didn't.
those thick belts from the '80s that were in?
Yes. Oh my
She
God.
used to
Yes.
bring those to me, so I would sell those too. So I was making money, and then
What the heck? She had a business.
the other kids, I would help them with their homework. So my
Mhm.
mom would say, "You'll pay this for me, but I want you to pay my daughter
Because
so that
she's
she can."
helping, right, for the
Right.
daycare education.
So I
I
would
love
come
it. I
home,
love it. I love it. You
I would
were
make like a
ready.
good 150 a week in cash at 10 years
Back
old.
in the day at
Back
10? Dang, I feel like I was slow. I must have
Yeah,
been a slow
and I
kid.
opened my first bank account in Apple Bank,
Mhm.
right there on 150
Oh,
something,
sucky
100
that.
Broadway, yeah. I still have
She
that
said the
account.
Apple Bank, y'all. Oh,
I still
shoot. She
have it.
said
I still have the
that's a
account.
long-term relationship with a banking institution, which
Yep,
everyone should have.
yep, I still have
Now,
it.
speaking of children and being early learners, we're going
Mhm.
to kind of segue into a conversation around something that came up in the news. We seldom do the news, but we must. I think me and Miss Wanda really want to address something that was in the
Big
news.
time.
So our illustrious Governor Hochul. Okay. Governor Hochul this week made a really bad statement about the kids in the Bronx. And
Black kids.
about black kids specifically. She stated black kids in the Bronx. And she was speaking to a group of business owners in California. And while I get, and I have to say this as a person who I actually work very hard to help bridge the digital divide. And when you understand what the digital divide is, it means that there is a gap between the haves and the have nots because of what they know and don't know through what's available.
Right.
It has nothing to do with ability. It has nothing to do with neglect. It has everything to do, and I say neglect meaning they're not wanting or not willing
Right.
to learn. It's the ability to have access to the same learning opportunities and trainings as those who have financial support. Now, when speaking to, just want to keep y'all in line, when government starts talking to business owners about the problem with poor kids, they use the word black often. Now, while there are Latinos, Asians, Indians, what I call it, southern,
Anyone from Africa too.
everybody on the planet, all up and down the Bronx, who are underserved, she decided to lump us all under black, and then talk about the childrens. So let's take a look at what happened with Governor Hochul this week, and what went down, what did go down. Okay. So I'm gonna have this read by by the AI. Isn't that great? We're gonna be talking about it too. Ain't it great? Okay. So this is the title. Mayor Adams gives Governor Hochul a pass on remarks about Bronx black kids not knowing what computer is. And I know y'all be like, what the heck is that about? But I want to talk to you a little bit from another position. Let's hear what happened, and then let's see where we can go with that. What can you learn?
About Bronx black kids not knowing what computer is.
Okay, one more time.
Mayor Adams gives Governor Hochul pass on remarks about Bronx black kids not knowing what computer is.
Mm.
A day after Governor Hochul said black kids in the Bronx don't know the meaning of the word computer, Mayor Adams gave her a pass on the gaffe, saying Tuesday he knows the governor's heart.
Mm.
When you make thousands of speeches, when you're in front of the cameras all the time, when you're trying to be authentic and say the things that you're really feeling, one can sit back and do a critical analysis of every sentence you say, the mayor said during a can-day with reporters at City Hall. I know her heart. I know what she was intending to say, and she was not trying to be disrespectful to the people of the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
A day earlier, Hochul said that we have young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know these things, she said. Hochul was speaking publicly to business leaders at the Milken Institute Global Conference on Monday in an interview geared toward the economic opportunities AI could offer people in poor neighborhoods. Later that day, she put out a statement saying she regretted her words and that she misspoke. Of course, black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they too often lack access to the technology needed to get on track to high-paying jobs in emerging industries like AI, she said subsequently. Despite walking back her earlier remarks, Hochul's initial statement sparked an almost immediate backlash. Assemblywoman Amanda Septimo, D. Bronx, described them as harmful, deeply misinformed, and genuinely appalling. Repeating harmful stereotypes about one of our most underserved communities, while failing to acknowledge the state's consistent institutional neglect, only perpetuates systems of abuse, she
Come on
said.
now.
I would invite Governor Hochul to visit us in the Bronx to experience firsthand the intelligence, resilience, and joy that radiate from Bronx children and residents each day. But not everyone in the state's political firmament has pounced. Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie, a Democrat who also represents the Bronx, described her statement as inartful and hurtful, but added that, I don't believe that is where her heart is. Adams has complained more than once about the word police being too exacting on him for some of his public comments, and on Tuesday, he appeared to relate to Hochul's predicament. She's sincere about uplifting the people, Adams said of Hochul. We don't always get it right. We don't always say the sentence the way we want. We would love to hit rewind sometimes, but the reality is, that's not the way life is.
Um, you know what's the problem with politicians in general is that for me, as an activist for so many years for
Mm-hmm.
people, I could be a silent supporter sometimes
Mm-hmm.
because I do the research of what I need to do for my community, and then I execute it in writing because that's pretty much how I prefer to do it.
Right.
I was very shy at one point. I would never get up on stage and speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, I do know that when you go into politics, you go in always with good intentions. But when you have to be at a level where you have to make everybody happy,
Mm-hmm.
the main people that you have to agree to and make happy are those that are conducting investments. And
Yeah.
as you say, I get, what you
So
said.
I saw it, and I'm gonna be honest. I personally agree with you. Um, I saw stress and strain in that first. It very much a lack of information, a lack of connectedness to understanding that, and a
Right,
need to throw those factors into this speech she was making to get to a point. I want you guys to. I think people always go think it's Miss Ruby's and the conspiracy theorist. No, I'm telling you, in every situation, you just have to ask yourself, where's the money? If in this one too, where's the money? What was the intention? To get their money. She was talking to business owners. Who was she talking to? Why would she bring that up? Because we need y'all to get us some more money.
right,
Get to the end of it, guys. Stop getting caught up in the beginning of it. She's asking them to look at these communities and see what's missing. So she went
right.
completely extreme, and I'm talking about was ill advised and ill prepared for this. And I would not be shocked and surprised if she did not stray from a freaking already written, okay, speech someone took the time to do for her.
Right, right,
Because it did seem, and then the correction seemed like someone else wrote that too. So
right.
that you guys understand, I like I said, I work with that demographic because I am a recipient of education and technology, and so I actually share that in my community. I
And
build that as a
and
part
then
of
the
my
thing
life.
is, I'm a labor
You're a labor
active
advocate.
duty.
You
I'm a
are.
labor advocate. And what's happening now is that these jobs, janitors, bus drivers, that's not gonna be for our kids.
No.
So we have to take action as parents, mothers who are in it
Do you think
for our
people are more emotional than they are mindful of what she was actually saying?
I I was really upset because as a governor,
Mhm.
you should be doing your own writing and you should
Not
really be in the Bronx
first of all, let me share
before you
something with
talk
you.
about the Bronx.
First of all, I don't think that, and honestly speaking, that's never going to happen. The
Right.
reason for that is
Unfortunately.
she's not just talking about the Bronx, and I think people don't seem to get that. She's not talking about the Bronx. She represents New York State as a whole. So being in the Bronx, she heard that in the conversation that she did not regurgitate. What I've seen this happen, y'all. I've seen people hear a conversation between two people, summarize that in their own words, and it come out just like what she said. Now,
Right.
while the conversation says the conversation was about underserved children in the Bronx who do
Right.
not, and by the way, the big joke about this is, of course, the kids don't know what a computer is. Their word for computer is iPad, tablet,
Tablet,
laptop.
mobile device.
They don't know what a computer is because they are way past that term. Computers, her age term. Our children are walking around with hundreds of dollars of equipment in their hand playing as a way so their mothers don't get interrupted in the day. So you want to talk
Even
about
in
Bronx kids?
very poor countries,
Thank you.
they
Thank
are
you.
on TikTok.
Thank you. So you really aren't hitting any real points here.
Yeah.
Our children are creating the media. So please, and this is not minus the Bronx.
Right.
Are you out your mind? There's babies, children. She literally can give her phone to a 3-year-old in the Bronx and he'd be able to set her phone, probably open it up and order something on her phone accidentally, but we'll still get his item. Why? Because our children learn what we teach them. Now, the problem is, and the real issue I don't think people really take with it is that what was said in the end, that we are not given the skills that come with the new the job markets
Right.
that are opening up.
Right.
With our future, our current and future economy is not actually are educated. We're not educated in that. You know what we get when
Right.
we get these expensive devices? All of us treat them like babies. We were taught to treat them like consumers,
Right.
to play with them, to entertain ourselves, not to create entertainment, not to build, not to innovate. We're not being taught that because our government, the governor herself, is responsible, along with our mayor, responsible for removing funding from the education system and not promoting future technology in our public schools.
Yep.
They themselves are they're criminals in that area. They remove funding in education that would give to the educational this pathway to our technological growth for our children. But you're telling people that kids in the Bronx they don't know what the meaning of a computer is. Yet they have expensive ones in the back of their pockets, walking around in their cribs, and then they're walking around in there with their uh, uh, playpens, cribs. I've seen them on the train and the bus. I've seen them in the stroller on the bus. That freaks me out when I look and see that a child has an iPad and an iPhone, and I don't even have an anything. I refuse because it costs too much long term. But this baby has a connected one and it's working on the bus. So
And they've already
please,
done, yeah, they've already done research, going back to mental health. They've
yeah,
already done plenty of research on how it's affecting their, learning process and their
exactly.
mind,
Because they're not
so
using them for what is intended. It actually is if we were allowing the children to play games that built their skill sets, built their mental capacity, not just the ones that keep their eyes flickering back and forth, and their focus and attention away from
right,
the focus. What got me, and I know we're coming at the end of the hour. I just want to make sure I give a shout out to moms again, and to people who pay attention to their children and are offended that the governor would make your kids look like they're not capable of learning, and know that you need to speak out. Don't let it end at outrage. Because when it
right.
does, it doesn't do anything. Get up and talk to the mayor and tell her, bring your tail out here to the Bronx and come talk to us about the budgets you're going to put into that. And then you talk to those businessmen about investing in the kids that are going to build their future companies.
Or
Because,
go like
come on,
anybody else, get the mothers together on a bus, go to Albany, and go right to your legislators.
you got
Forget
that
about
right.
her,
You
because she's
got
just
that
out
right.
there doing whatever. The
She's doing
legislators are the
She's
ones that
doing
use it.
what she's doing. And the
Right.
fact of the matter is, you're not going to, until you learn the process as mothers, you will not have an effect. The children will still grow up to be whatever it is they
Exactly.
say they will.
And
And
be
let
involved
me
in their schools. Find
get
out why
find
she
out
said
what's,
that,
yeah, because
and
that
where's
means
the money
she
going.
knows. Exactly. She knows they're not getting that education. She knows that that's who your kids are. And you
Mhm.
know it too because you're upset. If your children didn't apply to your kids, you wouldn't be upset. There wouldn't have been hundreds of thousands of posts. So since you're so mad, get out there and show her who you are and who you
Exactly.
will be. Now, the other thing I wanted to post is that she was talking to people who were trying to get AI into your space. But how? Remember, they're going to bring AI to you as users, not innovators, not builders, and damn sure not to build jobs in that. They're not coming to you. They're selling it on the state, kiddo. They're selling it to the state so they can use it on you.
Yep.
So instead of letting her listening to who she's talking about and knowing that you're becoming a new user, demand to be an innovator, demand to learn, be taught, educated. Make that a requirement in education. Then your children's so-called free schooling.
Oh, 1 minute.
Go ahead, honey.
I was in the train this morning,
Oh,
and
what?
the little girl was telling the father, "No, you can get the Roblox," and he's like, "You still have to pay for that." You said, "No, Dad, I'm telling you, Roblox, Roblox." And I'm like, if Miss Ruby was here right now, she would look at, because you know what he said to her? Oh, you
What?
think I'm stupid? You think I don't know what you're talking about? Of course I'm gonna have to pay for that. And it comes out of my pocket. I don't care. And I'm like, oh my God. This is what you and I have been talking about.
That's right.
Children know
Children know more than their
cryptocurrency
parents do.
and
I
they
I wish
know
I was there to see that because I'd have been like, "Sir, she's
I should have
correct.
recorded it.
Sir, just download it. It's for free. Baby girl know what she talking about. I ain't trying to tell you nothing,
She
but
said,
I
"Dad, we
teach
have
this."
to go to the counter to get
Yes, yes.
more, to play more."
To
And
get
he's like,
Robux
"Right, Robert."
to play. So,
I
and
didn't
the
even
fact
know that,
is,
but
so oh no, I have a nephew. I have 2 nephews in my family that are like Auntie Ruby. So you know Auntie Ruby has a Roblox account. And I give Robux for because those kids who get Robux get to build the platform. They get extra stuff to build their platform, and then they can actually develop shops where
right,
they will sell the items that they've built on the platform because
right,
they use their imagination and they use the technology together while they're playing in an interactive environment, and that is web3 in action.
right,
Your kids are learning, their kids are teaching themselves because you won't.
right.
They're
And I'm like,
teaching
all
themselves
he
because
had
you
to
won't.
do was just go with her. Show me, baby, what you talking about. Which counter?
Come
The
on.
counter at the register where I have to go to the
Mm,
ATM, or the
no.
counter like that's all he really had to say. So we need to pay attention to our kids because
Yes.
they know a little bit more than what we do. And that it's not always them asking for money and fiat, of
Thank
course.
you.
It's not
So
always that.
I want to make sure that we put down that there is always an answer. We don't come to problems and talk about them without resolutions. Mental Wellness Monday is one day that we do every day on Monday of the week. We invite people to talk about what's on their mind on P2G, which is on in the morning on Stereos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But Mental Wellness Monday is our first day. Come and join us. But guess what? Before you get there, I always recommend everybody to hop on Miss Salty Coffee's podcast because she actually has self-care
So
Sundays, which blows me away because I'm like, girl, what you doing now? She says, I'm relaxing and making myself well. And she ain't
I'm
lying.
telling you, we're gonna do a Mother's Day edition, but
Good.
I'm just gonna go through everything that I continue to do every Sunday,
That's
how I
right.
lost 30 pounds in 5 months,
Yes.
how I continue to maintain it
That's
because it's
right.
not easy.
No,
And I'm still
it
dry
will
a
get
little bit.
it'll get easy and then you turn around. You said
Yeah,
you're still dry a little bit. Did you drink
a little
something?
bit. Yeah, I had a couple
Ah,
of things, but
okay.
I
Okay.
I had the conversation with my DO. I think
Right.
I'm gonna bring that conversation on Sunday, the
Okay.
MD versus the DO,
DO.
and then we
Okay.
can talk about it on Friday a little bit more if
Hmm.
it fits into the topic. But yeah,
Absolutely. Sounds like a
because
plan.
if it, I want people to really have conversations with their family about their finances and their health and how so
And
connected they are.
And even more so, the one thing you cannot avoid, your final decision in life. You have to make
Exactly.
plans for when you're not here. So
Mhm.
we're going to talk about the life plan all the way through and how to prepare
Okay.
and get you there. Let's go. We got to remember, it's on P2G networks. We always handle all of the problems that you're dealing with money. You knew what I know. You'd be thinking, wow, it was that simple. Shocked me to death. Could not believe it was that easy to shift my finances to a space that I could live happily with myself.
Right.
So come to P2G and join us. Join us with the people who have come together, learned a new way of living, and are teaching people actively to create your lifestyle, baby, with the money to live it. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. And the health to enjoy it. So guys, this has been a phenomenal evening. I'm just gonna
Me
have to
too.
see us off. I'm so upset. I gotta care. I'm so upset we gotta end, but we gotta get
Happy
going. I love
Mother's
you.
Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Do
I
you
love you
mama,
too.
everything. And don't forget, like we said, we're always here every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Black Girls in Web3. Peace and love. P2G presents Black Girls in Web3. podcast. Hosted by Wanda SUERO, also known as Salty Coffee, Dazzle Daniels, also known as Dazzle D, and myself, Elruby Thomas, known as Miss Ruby, Crypto Queen of Harlem, y'all. Tune in weekly as we strive to educate and elevate our community's financial literacy.